Yeah, hi friends. I am going to do today is actually January 2nd. I'm trying to do my video for 2026, just for education purposes. Uh, so if before you see that, I mean, it's already very late to do the predictions for 2026, but January 2nd, because it takes a lot of time to do something like this. First thing is you should look at my 2025 predictions and to see, or 2024 or 2023, and see whether what I said is right or wrong, you know. So you can get an idea what I say about 26 is makes sense at all. Also, you need to watch this one because I missed the tour because of I missed small planets, not analyzing the small planets. I mean the slow moving, not the slow moving, fast moving planets. So that's what happened in here. So I clearly explain it what happened here. So you can watch these two together and make a judgment, if you really want to watch 2026 or not, right? What I did, I did more homework for 2026. So what I did was, I wanted to do a lot more homework than this, but I don't have time to do that. I wanted to know what really happened in each of these circumstances in prior periods. When I say prior, when the similar situation exists, you will not find that exactly unless this country is over 120 years old. Um, of course, our country is over 120 years. What I mean is, since the independence, we haven't, we're still in 70s, right? So, so to do that, like of United States, of course, like two cycles already gone, 1700 something, and then two cycles already gone. So it's easy to figure out what happened in earlier periods. Also, there is enough written documentation as to what happened in 1800, 1900, like that, right? So in Sri Lanka, you don't have that either. And also, we are not 120 years since we get the independence, which talks about the current chart for Sri Lanka, right? So what I did here is that since I missed the tour, it's because of this particular planet. This is the most malefic planet for Sri Lanka. So I did not analyze those ones. I only analyzed for earlier years the Jupiter, slow moving planet. Saturn is a slow moving planet, and Rahu, Ketu is slow moving planet. So I only analyzed these. So I didn't have time to do this, all of these other ones. Even now, I'm not analyzing the moon because it's way too much work to do that, right? So otherwise, would have gotten nice triggers to identify. What this show is the ephemeris, or where the planets are for Sri Lanka, Colombo, at 12 a.m. of each day, right? So if you look at it, sun, like today is 17 degrees Sagittarius, 09, like that, and the moon started with Taurus, exalted position, like that, and then Mars also in this degree, like that, right? So that is how this is how it's showing here. I'm just trying to teach you how these can be done without having, God Kataragam or somebody like that coming and helping you, telling you, sit down, teach you what and what. In this case, we are totally studying the science, this really, really great science. That is what this is, okay? So what I'm doing here is I have the dates here, I have the planet positions, so sun, moon. Of course, I'm not considering moon at the moment. Sun, Mars, Mercury. Mercury is the most malefic planet for Sri Lanka. The Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Rahu, right? and then I have the dates here, and then I am saying what are the dasa periods that are running for Sri Lanka, right? This is what it is. We are running Rahu main period, Jupiter sub period, and Jupiter at the moment, Jupiter sub period and a Jupiter sub period, right? So this is what we are running now. How this works is that Rahu is 15% influence. These are all approximately. The Rahu is 15%, and then the Jupiter is like 70%, the sub-load, right? And then the sub-load is like another 15%. So we will get 15, 15, 30 and 70 give us 100, right? So that is how their influence for these periods are, right? What happens is that the Rahu is a malefic planet for us. So Rahu period runs for quite a long time. If I go to Sri Lanka chart, we can say Rahu period started in January 27, 2023, and it is going all the way to January 27, 2041. So this is quite a long period, right? That's a main period. Unless it's a Rahu period, Rahu then will have Rahu period will have 100% influence. So these are the bad times of Sri Lanka, a lot of thieving and cheating and all that stuff that went through here, right? So, but then we started Rahu Jupiter in, we can go here and see, we started Rahu Jupiter from October 9th, right? So things don't change immediately, right, in like that. So it started moving a little better period here, right, because Jupiter is a benefic planet for us. Some initiatives started coming through, that kind of stuff, right? So this is expected to be a good period for Sri Lanka, because let me go into this other worksheet. If you look at it here, we are running Rahu Jupiter until until this time. Rahu Jupiter goes up to February 2nd, right? And then Rahu Jupiter Saturn also a very good planet for us, a slow moving planet, because the Jupiter owns 4th house and 5th house. Actually, 5th house is the Mula Trikona house, empty house, and then this is the secondary house, right? And let me see you. And then that Jupiter Saturn period comes. So basically, we are having Jupiter. Rahu is 15. Rahu provides the color, and Jupiter is that. So this is much more than the 15 of Rahu, right? Because we said 70 and 15, which is 85%, right? And then Jupiter Saturn goes all the way to 21st June, and after that we come with the Rahu Jupiter Mercury, which is Rahu is malefic, Mercury is malefic. So we'll be 15 and 15 negative and 70% positive here. But this is, it's Mercury is not, unless there's a major transit, it doesn't bother you so much. But it is a negative, a little bit more negative than the earlier periods. Okay, so it goes Rahu Jupiter Mercury all the way to goes Mercury until this period, until 24th of October, right? So until 24th of October. After that, it starts Rahu Jupiter Ketu. Mercury as well as Ketu is bad for Sri Lanka. Ketu is a negative planet for everybody, for that matter. So Ketu period is not, it's similar to the earlier one. So it's a little bit of bad period here, right? And then it finishes in I explain the other ones afterwards, and it finishes in this date, 14 December, and after that we are going Rahu, Jupiter, Venus. Venus is our Lagna Lord, and we are running that period till December, right? What I did with these worksheets, is that I try to see what are the influences in each day, right? What are the influences in each day, and whether they could be negative or whether they could be positive, right? And the positive ones I highlighted in green, right? Some are not totally sure because I haven't done a historical work. I didn't go in to see, whether these were positive or negative in earlier periods. If I had a month like that, I would have tried and do that. So wherever I'm not totally, nothing is totally sure in life, but wherever I think it could be go either way, I put it in yellow, and then the bad dates I put it in this color, right? Like orange kind of color here, right? So that is what I did. What I did was I looked at each transits, how they link to Sri Lanka chart, how they link to this Sri Lanka chart, right? And then I identified what are the positive days and what are the negative days, right? I mean, certainly there are very good positive days and there are negative days also. That's how any country runs. But generally, Jupiter period means we should be doing, we will have better economic growth. There will be a lot of initiatives. Let me show you how that comes about. Now here, first we need to, important one is the two important planets of Sri Lanka would be, of course, Venus, but that's, you can look at my other video about the Venus, Jupiter and Saturn. I put it here, like let's say Saturn here. Our Saturn will be going in Pisces. Pisces is our 6th house, this one, right? So when Saturn, like Saturn owns 4th and 5th house. 5th house is mainly, and most 4th house also. And then what are the 5th, and what happens is that whenever a planet goes, a 5th and 4th and 5th lord going in the 6th house, what he get controlled by the 6th house. That is what happens. Okay, let me show you what really happens here. What is the 5th house? 5th house is like all the children, higher education, right? I like here higher education, expression of progeny, you know what that is. Stock market, speculative stuff, and the children, education, right? And artists, athletes, and like that. And then the 4th house would be general education, right? This is also land assets, right? The masses, homeowners, and real estate, food supply, and those kind of stuff is the fourth house. So what happens is that these items, when that planet goes in the 6th house, 6th house is not a great house. The 6th house, when it goes in there, then these items are represented in this way. What are the stuff here? Loss and fire or theft can happen, health and justice, right? And also hospitals, military workers, and all these stuff is manifested in this area. Like you can see so much disputes here. You can see disputes here because the courts and all that is disputes, right? Like public health, civil service, duty, defense, and disputes, right? So these things are manifested in these areas. That's what happens, right? So what is happening now? You see so much disputes about education, like what they try to do, and then pretty much Rahu here, getting inside of that and messed it up, right? So there will be a lot of disputes until such time this Saturn goes inside of this house, right? So this is what's going to happen. Um, so you can see that, like a lot of disputes relating to these items, right? Particularly education, health sector, a lot of disputes in that way, right? And opposition party is really, really creating a lot of disputes. You see this opposition party here in the fourth, right? Stability and land, we are, we've gone through so much trouble with the Ditwa, and, we have a lot of trouble with that area. This is what happens. So we can clearly expect, as long as Saturn goes in the house of sixth house, these matters going to be affected, and you're going to see disputes without question. So we said Saturn going in Pisces all the way through all of the year. Like you can see, it's all of the year here, all the way to December 30th. So we are looking at to a low, when the bad transits are around, then these manifest. That's what happens, right? And then the other major one is Jupiter, and also Dasa Lord, because Dasa Lord is very, very important. He has a lot of say in what is happening. What Jupiter owns is the third house, right? Third house representing, a lot of different things, right? Journalists, because they are writing, and then you can see journalists are already in trouble. And then you are seeing transport sector, media, right? Communication and initiatives. Third house is initiatives and communications and related ones. And then what happens with that is he also owned the sixth house. Jupiter owned third house as empty sign house, and the non-empty sign is this one. Even sixth house, he owner of the sixth house, these things are manifesting partly in this period. So we are getting mix of good and the bad. We are going to get a lot of good in this area, particularly initiatives, right? And then we are going to get, definitely we are going to get economic growth without any question. No matter what happens, our economy will be better than last year. Definitely going to come there. Because I looked at some earlier periods, long time ago once, and then I see there was increase in GDP, right? So that's going to happen because it's a positive planet, but this Jupiter owns this bad house also. So manifestation will be two of this. So if you look at it here, we have this set here from Saturn and this set here from Jupiter. So we are going to have this. No question about it, right? And the Jupiter is going the Saturn is going in the sixth house, I told you, right? And the Saturn, he's going in this one. So this is why these two houses are getting bad in here, right? And now since the Lord of our Dasa periods, he's going now in the ninth house. Ninth house is a luck, good fortune, right? So this is ninth house is pretty much universities, judges, clergy, and those kind of people, and foreign trade, shipping and international law, right? Treaties and vision and global standing. So all of these, this Jupiter going in this house till June 1st of 2026. So you are going to see some improvements on this area, right? And then after that, he's going in the 10th house, because 9th house is a good fortune, right? And then he's going in from June 2 to October 31st. He will be going in the 10th house. This is why I have this 10th house over here to put it over here. So 10th house is a parliament, capital city and those kind of stuff, the head of state, national prestige, ruling party, right? Executive power and authority and status. 10th house is pretty much in a personal chart is employment, and character. So when Jupiter goes in here, Jupiter going to increase some of these also, so there will be some positive developments in these areas from June 2 to October 3rd. And then from 1st of November, he will be going on the 11th house of gain and friends and income. And then that is really stock exchange can do well on that time. All allies, other countries who are helping Sri Lanka. Revenue, foreign aid and those kind of stuff. Here we have legislation, the parliament is in here. Objectivity and, objectives and income. So 11th house is pretty much in the normal chart is friends and income. So those areas are what Jupiter going to bring us in this year, right? So that is what we can expect. So we are going to see some disputes, mixed results, and then but Jupiter will push us up. Definitely it's much better than last year. People will have understanding and we'll do okay. Now if I go there, after that I said, I told you that 15% of Rahu influence still there for the whole year continuously. Like who is Rahu Ketu? Rahu Ketu is not good at all. That Rahu is good for tourism, that we break, as we break the 2018 tourism arrival number because we started the Rahu period from 2023. Rahu helps with the travel. Whenever in a personal chart person come to Rahu period, they always travel. They even travel somewhere within the country or they travel overseas. It's depending on their chart, right? So Rahu promotes travels all the time, and then we were getting tourists like that. But they are not the best planets. If you look at my last year prediction, you can see who Rahu is and what was happening earlier. I mean, Rahu not go away, still there is some of this stuff going to be there. There will be losses by theft. That's for sure, Even at a lower scale, we might not see it, but, that is going to happen. And also health area also, like right now we're talking about, people dying with the medicine. It's a sad situation, right? So these things can involve some amount of theft also. It can happen all the way through because Saturn going to be on that house. So what I want to show you in now is this. These are what I did was, these are the positive dates and these are the negative dates based on what I identified in relation to Sri Lanka chart. In here, you can see Jupiter aspect Ketu here. So when Jupiter aspect Ketu, these days could be negative. That is what happened, and one day good and a few days negative again. That is the rule. That is the rule. A rule is that whenever a benefic planet aspects malefic planet, it will be negative days, right? And then one day after they go over the peak of that, one day good, and after that, few days bad, and then it goes away. That's how it happens. So these are like next few days, right? 4th, 5th, 6th, like that. And then January 9th is not that great because our Mercury is on the 3rd house, MEP, or most effective point, right? Like here, I'm not totally sure because these are major positives and a major negatives here. So it could be, positive, more like negative more than positive, or nothing really happens. And then these ones are positive days, like February 1, 2, 3, like that. You can see based on these, right? This one is a positive date for 7th. You can see why I say that, right? Other thing you need to realize is this Rahu Ketu slowdowns in certain periods. You can, whenever Rahu Ketu slow down, and if they are having any influence to another planet, that planet suffers quite a bit. I mean, when I say that planet, it's not the planet, it's a signification that's shown by that planet, right? You can see Rahu Ketu in the 14th, quite a long period, right? So pretty much like that. And then the Rahu Ketu again goes stationary in July, like in the 5th degree. You can see it stay in the 5th degree. So if your personal chart has a, Rahu Ketu influence on one of your planets around 5th degree, that means you're going to have a really tough period until it comes to that peak, right? So that is important to know, right? Now I was somewhere here, like, okay, so these are the good dates and the bad dates. When I say good dates and the bad dates, we are not expecting anything really big, something to happen, like it could be some initiative or something, right? And if there are continually long period of good days, then there is something good happen. Like here, that's a little possibility where Jupiter is going in the 20 degrees, right? So I have like 3 days of positive here, and 16th. Definitely these are positive days here, because I know that, these should be positive. 11th, 12th and 13th March, right? And then the 16th possibly, and then 18th March, 21st March, 29th is a good day again, right? That's how it goes. And I say what are the reasons here, like this is like Mars is a good planet for us, even though it's afflicted, conjunct Venus, comes to Venus, so that day should be a positive day. You may hear, something positive about the country. And then this one is negative, because MEP5, like every time the Mercury earlier, like, some bad news comes out. Whenever the earlier government times, when the fuel prices go up, it happens on these MEP days. You can look it up, my earlier ones, you will see that, right? This one here is negative because the Mercury conjunct Venus, it's something to do with the country itself. And then this here is positive. I'm not sure about this one. Conjunct Rahu, Venus conjunct Rahu. Only issue is that whenever Venus goes in the 7th house and conjunct Rahu, the weather events happen. Like if you look at like earlier storms and a lot of flooding happens, a lot of flooding events happened. If you look at my Ditwa video, it happens on whenever Venus conjunct Rahu here. That happens. So this could be very well be negative day, maybe a lot of rain and things like that, right? And then you can see these positive days, negative days. Like it's a mix, life is like that, mix of positive and negative days. So you can see even here, Rahu conjunct Mercury, on that day, it could be weather events for sure. Some bad weather going to be there on that day. You will see that for sure. All right. And then we have some number of bad dates here, because the Rahu, Ketu conjunct Mars, like our Mars is long-term partners, right? And our Mars is our wealth and status of the country. So that can affect here, because you can see Rahu Ketu is coming not so slow, but somewhat coming in like 36, 33, 30, in mid-level. So you're going to see some negative period here for sure, right? And then could be a positive day here, or nothing happened day, and then these are again negative for sure. Because whenever this could be like violent stuff also. Ketu is violent and Mars also violent. So could be some kind of, it could be fire, it could be some weather event, right? And then when you go, and then we will have some good, our planet of Saturn going in the 6th house, right? These are definitely positive. After whatever happens here, we may see some positive reactions after that. Some positive things happens after that, right? Like how you saw with the Ditwa, all this destruction happened and then the people wake up and started helping, kind of thing can happen here. So these are positive, quite positive here, right? So we have a positive few days here from 1st June to possibly 11th, except these 2 days, right? And then we have like 3 days here. I'm not sure about this day. Like here you have 4 days here. And then we have 2 days positive and the 3 days. And these are negative. These are definitely negative. I mean negative days. And that's a positive one. It's a positive one. And these are positive. And then we have, somewhat positive and negative dates here. And Sun will be going in its own house. So this is government will be doing well in this kind of period. Government will have more, government will be more active and, things works in the way that they want it. And also there is, you can see there is another positive one here. It's coming towards the MEP of the 6th house. So we may be able to get rid of some of the loans. I don't know if that's a possibility. Some foreign aids or something like that. Or, something positive right here for Sri Lanka, that's for sure. Right? And after that, we have 2 days of not so positive period. But definitely these are bad days. These are definitely bad days. Let me highlight it. Those are bad days. And you can see a positive, negative like that. right? Over here you see positive, negative. These are positive, then these are negative. And Venus will be going in this. Whenever Venus goes in this house, we have some losses in the country. That's for sure also. Whenever Venus goes in the 12th house, like if your personal chart, your main planet going in the 12th house, you find, a lot of insects or something coming and eating your stuff, or, you're losing money. I mean, something you will lose. That happens. So when this one go in this 12th house, that definitely going to happen to Sri Lanka. And then Venus going in the Libra continuously, also a good period. But then the other negative ones here, like this one here, is clearly negative. Ketu aspect Jupiter. It's something to do with, it could be religious something. I think something like this went through, and then that happens. When all those monks died, things like that can happen. Not necessarily that, but, something to do with just violent, could be some kind of a change in happening here. Right, and also period also, because this transit is Ketu aspect Jupiter, and then we are running Rahu, Jupiter, Ketu. So this is a one condition that happens. These are going to be negative. Because inner period also compatible with this transit. That is what I'm talking about, right? And then, each day here, like 14th December, 17th. Definitely this is negative, without a question. Right, 8th December is negative. You can see all the way to December 31st. We are in 31st December. We have a good transit here. Right? And that's how it looks. I mean, why I did this, it took a long time for me to make sure, first of all, these placements are correct. And then to see what are the influence on each day. This is how life works. There's no other way, this is how life works. So if we understand this for our personal chart, then of course what is happening, like just to give you an example, let's say here, right? Let's say here, like the Rahu Ketu going on the Ketu conjunct Mars. It's not a good one, because Ketu is negative, Mars is our afflicted planet. So some bad things can happen here, like people not having patience, kind of things can happen. And then we know after this date, the 12th, 27th, it will start releasing, like it will happen like this. Okay, after that you can get a one clear day, and then maybe another 2 days of bad time. And then, after that, it's good. It is okay. Things started, like, let's say you're in a hospital on this time. Your condition get worse continuously. But when this day comes, doctors find you recovering. And they say, oh, wow, that's the case. And then after that, they'll try something, and then 1 or 2 days bad again, and then you will start recovering from here. That's how it happens, Like in this case, you can see a bad period and a good days. So there is an event to happen, something to happen here. You have to be careful. If I had a chance to look at it, what happened in earlier periods, then I can figure out what this could be and what this could be. Because this is every 30 years, this is every 18 years. But I don't have the time to do that. I mean, if I don't do it today, it will be no point in doing that end of January. So this is why I'm doing this thing now. I hope that This explains something how this great science works. Nothing else happen outside of this. Only thing is our knowledge is limited. So that is how things happen, like these green, these yellows, or sometimes this could be green and this could be that, but an event happened, that's for sure. But because I don't have the time to research all the last, every 12 years of, from 1948 and what happened on when this situation happened, I can say, okay, this is what happened and that similar thing can happen because these are all cycles, right? So I'm hoping that I give you some kind of education if you watch this far. It's not many people are blessed to learn this at all. It's very rarely people learn this. It's such a blessing to know this, And also, we want Sri Lanka to do best. We don't want the corruption and those things with this Rahu here. This 15% of Rahu, element of corruption going to continue. That's nothing we can do about, And then other thing is that when I look at President's chart, clearly he's running Saturn period and Saturn going in his 5th house. So he's not going to get attached to so much bad stuff. If any politician thinks that they can hurt him, it's difficult in a period like this, but the other MPs and ministers and stuff, what they say, they don't control their mouth and those kind of stuff. And also if they are doing behind the back stuff, they will pay for it. And also it will come out. It will come out. And the justice needs to be equal to everyone. It should never be, justice should never be only for the opposition. Opposition, we know who opposition is. Those people who ruined the country for all these years. And, if this set of ministers starts to do this, like how these patients are dying and things like that, and if they are not careful, and also like how that kind of website getting into this, nobody is reading them. They just there to earn money and not reading them to see what these things are in the books. That is quite sad. People are not taking responsibility for what they did. Because, you can't expect the Prime Minister to go through everything, but, she's pushing this, but she at least should make sure that somebody higher up read these stuff before it's printed. It is sad. It is sad. Those kind of stuff going to happen because of this here and this here. Our education system going to get criticized continuously. That's what happens. I hope you learn something. If you have questions, you can write. I'm not trying to earn money out of this stuff because this kind of science is not for everybody at all. It is only for very limited amount of blessed people who will learn this. Okay, so bye for now. We'll meet in another video later on, right? Thank you so much.